Hello once again and welcome to this Red Gaming Tech video with myself, Marta, where I'm here as always with the latest news from the tech and gaming world from the last 24 or so hours as of the 27th of April. We are going to kick things off today with a bit of an update from Nvidia. And no, sadly, this is not more rumours or anything like that regarding Ampere or Hopper or anything like that, but it is an interesting update. You may remember back in March of last year, Nvidia officially announced the acquisition of Mellanox, who have a lot of high-performance networking technology and expertise. So this move is obviously huge for Nvidia, is really going to benefit them in the data center space, and as such, they have acquired Mellanox for the sweet tune of $7 billion. There was a statement released by Jensen Huang, obviously the CEO of Nvidia, and he said, quote, "The expanding use of AI and data science is reshaping computing and data center architectures. With Mellanox, the new Nvidia has end-to-end technologies from AI computing to networking, full-stack offerings from processors to software, and significant scale to advanced next-generation data centers. Our combined expertise, supported by a rich ecosystem of partners, will meet the challenge of surging global demand for consumer internet services and the application of AI and accelerated data science from cloud to edge to robotics." So obviously this isn't really for the gaming side at all. This is obviously just going to be for next generation data centers, which obviously Nvidia loves their data centers. They love their AI, they love their self-driving cars and all of that. I have no doubt that we will see some of that at their upcoming GTC online event, which they are promising will get us amped. So yeah, this could be really interesting. Obviously we won't see any product results from this for quite some time, but nice to see a resolution to this and look forward to seeing what the two companies can actually produce. So we're going to move over now to a couple of things from Apple, the first of which is regarding the iPhone 12. So a new report from the Wall Street Journal has surfaced, and basically they are saying that the iPhone 12 launch will actually happen this year, but mass production is not only reportedly delayed, according to their sources, by a whole month, they are also allegedly planning to slash production of their iPhones by much as 20% during the second half of this year. So the reason for the delay is obvious. It's, everything that's happening in the world right now. I don't really need to say anything further than that. But the reduction in production for the second half of the year is very interesting. Just goes to show you they expect the ripple effects from this to go on for quite some time, despite the fact that they do have 4 new models arriving later on this year, with plenty of upgrades and stuff for Apple heads to actually enjoy. So this goes to show you that the ripples from this are being felt by even a company as absolutely humongous as Apple. And speaking of Apple, we have some news regarding them and AMD in the semiconductor industry. So this is all thanks to a very interesting annual report from the research firm Gartner, and you can find this linked in the description below this video. So it has a lot to say. There's quite a bit of information to actually absorb here, but I just kind of want to focus on the highlights of it. So basically it reveals that Intel did stand once again at the top of the semiconductor food chain, and they earned roughly $68 billion in revenue last year, and this was roughly 17% of the total chip sales made last year, of course. And in second place we do see Samsung, unsurprisingly, and they take up a pretty significant chunk of the market as well. So they mostly focus on the overall industry here. They do say that the overall semiconductor revenue did decline 12% last year, but as for Intel specifically, we did see their market share grow by 15.7%. However, the second company was Apple. They also saw a significant increase in revenue by 12.1%. And they actually beat AMD in semiconductor revenue by 22% in 2019. And this is according to the annual report filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission by AMD themselves. So if we take the figures from Gartner's report and what AMD reported, that is where we're getting this figure of 22%. Now, Gartner is missing AMD is missing from Gartner's list, words are hard, pretty much entirely, but that is not new. That has not changed from their data collected in 2018. In fact, a lot of the list that they released hasn't really changed that much from 2018 to 2019. We just see a swapping of places happening between Intel and Samsung. So we're going to move over now to some console news for today regarding the PS5 and the Dualsense controller. Now, I know I've said this before, but the Dualsense obviously was a bit divisive when it was initially revealed. It's obviously very different in look compared to the DualShock 4 or any of the previous PlayStation controllers, to be fair. And plenty of devs have come out to praise the controllers and the changes that they've actually made. Primarily in the past, it has been the haptic feedback and adaptive triggers. Now, the guys over at pushsquare.com actually reached out to the Dying Light 2 developer Techland to see what they thought of the controller, and there were some comments from the lead designer Timon Smektala, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, and he said to Push Square, and of course you can find their article linked below, that he thinks the controller looks great. He said, quote, "I absolutely love it. It's an amazing design, as futuristic as we should expect in 2020, the sci-fi times we already live in. As for the shape, we need to see how it will fit in the hands, but looking at it I get very good vibes. I think it has a chance to be one of the best in history, just big enough but neat and funky at the same time. I also think that the haptic feedback and adaptive triggers can be real game changers, way more than people expect right now. I'm curious about the overall sturdiness of the thing. It looks so sleek, I wonder if it will survive accidental falls and rage quits. But all in all, even though I know the initial opinions were varied, for me it's absolutely fantastic." So once again, that feedback, that praise for the haptic feedback and adaptive triggers. But he pretty much said the same thing I did, that it really comes down to how it feels to hold in your hands, how it feels to use. Does it feel flimsy? Does it feel like if you dropped it or whatever, it could survive without breaking or cracking or whatever? Those are the questions that are really important. And again, just how comfortable is it for the majority of gamers to hold? I mean, when it comes to the previous, or shall I say the current generation, in terms of how comfortable the controllers are, I actually prefer the Xbox One controller over the PS4. The PS4 controller is good, it's fine, don't get me wrong, but I've got massive man hands, and the Xbox One controller is just more comfortable for me to hold. And it's a pretty significant improvement over the Xbox 360 controller, because it actually has a D-pad that's worth a damn. So that's good. Anyway, so I'm excited to actually try out the PS5 Dualsense controller, and obviously the Xbox Series X controller, and obviously both consoles as well. But speaking of the PS5, we've got some trouble in paradise with Naughty Dog and The Last of Us 2. So essentially what has happened is that there has been a massive leak of Last of Us 2 story spoilers online. Now I just want to say, don't worry, I'm not going to talk about specifics of the spoilers. I haven't even looked myself because I don't want to be spoiled myself. I loved The Last of Us and I do not want to be spoiled for The Last of Us 2, so I don't even know the spoilers to share them. It's more about why they were leaked that I'm talking about this. So, and again, as far as I'm aware, the leaks are available to read on the Reset Era forums. You can go looking for them yourself. I will link them below, but just I'm warning you, massive spoilers. Do not look if you want to be surprised by the story. But I'm going to put it there because I know people are going to ask about it. Anyway, so what actually happened? Well, we don't know for sure, of course, but the rumours are that the spoilers were leaked by a disgruntled Naughty Dog employee who leaked all of this information to YouTube after a payment dispute with the company. Now, this is not confirmed. I just want to stress that. Not confirmed. It is a rumour at this stage. So this rumour was tweeted by Super Metal Dave 64, and of course his tweet will be linked as well. And he says, quote, "The Last of Us 2 spoilers are reportedly from a disgruntled employee over a payment dispute with Naughty Dog. When things didn't go their way, bam, major plot spoilers got leaked. Some really angry, tired and fed up people working at ND. I think we could see this coming, sadly. So the original video has obviously been removed, but the Reset Era forums have got a breakdown of everything that they did show. So once again, it is there. If you want to read it, that's your choice, but do not even click on it unless you want to be spoiled. I'm just going to copy and paste the link. I'm not even risking opening a new tab. I don't want to be spoiled. So this raises a very interesting question. What could the payment dispute be? Well, what I've heard is that it's regarding the bonus for the game. So obviously we already know that The Last of Us 2 was postponed indefinitely because of everything that's going on. Sony were obviously concerned that it just wouldn't sell well because they obviously can't physically get it onto shop shelves, and even if they could, people aren't in the shops because they're closed. So it's obviously going to be digital sales and Amazon sales and obviously other websites as well only. No brick and mortar stores at all be involved. And I'm sure a lot of their sales come from companies like Amazon or whoever you decide to use, but they obviously have a significant portion from brick and mortar as well. So they decided to postpone it because they were worried about the sales, which is frustrating, obviously, but understandable. They have spent millions on this game, so I don't blame them. As much as frustrated as I am to have to wait months, I can understand. But the rumours are at the moment that they have not paid the developers, programmers, all those people their bonus because of this delay. So just imagine, put yourself in the position of this developer, assuming this is true that it was a developer from Naughty Dog. I mean, it has to be someone close to the company because who else would have this information, but allegedly it's someone from the company. So let's just say you're this alleged person. You have been crunching like crazy for the last few months. You've barely seen your family, you've barely seen your friends. You basically have been living at work for X amount of months. And then Sony says, so guys, we're not going to be releasing the game on time. We're going to postpone it because of everything that's going on. And you're like, okay. So because of that, we're not going to pay you bonus. And you're like, excuse me? I just spent the last X months of my life on this. Like, haven't seen my family really or anything. So you can kind of imagine, if you put yourself in their shoes, why they would feel this frustrated. And you might ask, why am I so sure about the crunch? Because Naughty Dog are infamous, allegedly, for how bad their crunch actually is. You may remember there were some articles doing the rounds earlier this year, last month, March. There was a very interesting and very well written report by Jason Schreier of Kotaku, and he wrote about the issue of crunch. And there was also a tweet from the former Naughty Dog animator Jonathan Cooper, who said that the gameplay animators for The Last of Us 2 were, quote, crunched more than they've ever seen. And he even went on to say that one friend of his was hospitalised due to overwork, and their reputation, that being Naughty Dog, was so bad that they couldn't even hire seasoned contract game animators to close the project. Because if you are a contractor and you know this company has a reputation for like 12-hour days and really brutal conditions at crunch time, I think a lot of people would be like, I'm good, thanks. So obviously I don't know for sure that it was crunch, I'm just speculating. I want to make that super clear. I am speculating based upon rumour, but it makes sense if this is the case. Make of it what you will. I've posited my theory. You're more than welcome to let me know yours in the comments. Sorry, I just touched my mic there. Apologies for that. Hopefully I didn't deafen anyone. Anyway, we're going to move on to our final topic for today, which is regarding Perfect Dark. So, rumours have been going around for a while about a potential Perfect Dark remake, remaster, or, of course, a new game. Now, there was an interesting tweet from the Twitter user TLOU, and recently shared a LinkedIn profile of a technical designer over at the Iniative. And TLOU drew attention to their current description of their duties. And apparently there is an unannounced project over at the Iniative that is running on Unreal Engine that features, quote, various weapons, gadgets, and a camera surveillance system. It also goes on to say that he is responsible for creating objects in the game such as, quote, doors, destructibles, hazards, triggers, and much more. And obviously they are a Microsoft company. And one of the rumours were from Shinobi a while back, or well, he didn't say much to be fair, but what he did say led to a lot of rumours and speculation that one of the games he was talking about could be a Perfect Dark game. So this would actually make a lot of sense, to be honest, and I would be down for this. I said this when I initially discussed Shinobi's comments, that I would 1000% be down for a new Perfect Dark game if it's a remake or whatever. Personally, I think it's probably just going to be a new game. I don't know if there's enough clout of the originals to remake them, but I might be wrong. I'll be down for it though. Not saying any good at Perfect Dark, but I do enjoy them. Anyway, that's me done for this video. Talked way longer than I planned to, but thank you so much for watching. As always, your support is highly appreciated, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.